Oh yeah, that's it. You just tuned in to the Digital Cartridge Podcast with Sean and Micah. Listen up as they deliver you the most epic show covering movies, television, video games, and wrestling. Now, here's Sean and Micah.
This is called Sean and Micah Go to a Donkey Show.
I was going to ask you if you wanted to see what I've got in my big red sack.
Oh, man. I like to call mine the cum sock. The big old red cum sock.
That means it's bloody.
I mean, that's a little sticky in there, so that's why I guess that's why I picked myself on Secret Santa.
I'm kind of pissed off the dude hasn't posted pictures of what I sent him yet.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it as the busy, weekend. Maybe I don't know what he does. Maybe he works retail or something. But it really confused me. Like when I picked out 45 plus names out of this Tadpog is what we're talking about. Tadpog Secret Santa. I run that over there in that group, and I picked my name last, and it was probably the most depressing thing I'd out of the whole thing because like I put so much production value into these videos I did for everybody, and when I pulled my name out last, I was just like, damn, what's the luck of this? Because, I mean, I only picked one person to name as their Secret Santa, so I was able to throw it back in the bag, and they picked, I was able to get somebody else. And in the end, it was me. I was like, damn, I don't have anybody to get a present, I can just buy myself a present, but that's really lame because I do that all year long. So luckily, somebody, did send me a message late off. And she was like, hey, is Secret Santa, still open? I was like, yeah. I was like, look, I pulled myself. I'll trade with you. And it actually worked out in the end because I wouldn't say so much a joke, but as like a high-end request, I've always said, send me an EverDrive. And if anybody doesn't know what EverDrive is it's a flash cart it could be for Super Nintendo, Sega, Genesis. I mean, they make them for multiple hardwares. And Super Nintendo is probably the most popular one on that, and I always said send me an EverDrive, and sure enough, I ended up getting a legit EverDrive in the mail. And I mean, these things retailed for like $250 when they first came out. So I know this is an early model one, so I don't even know what it's valued at, but like I am more than thankful for like the gift that I got.
Yeah, the one I got sent was pretty legit too. It had a lot of little figurines and stuff that I've already taken to work and put on my desk.
Yeah, and it was funny because, like, I try not to police it. The thing is like, it's a minimum of $25. I mean, some people go way above and beyond. And, some people, ride that $25 length. I understand that, I mean, I'm not, putting anybody in a headlock and say, you got to spend more than $25, bitch. But it is what it is. But I noticed, like, a friend of ours, they haven't posted theirs up, but they got literally, like, a handful of Yoshi dolls. And I was like, well, motherfucker, you put that you collect Yoshis. And then, unfortunately somebody, put that they hated glitter. And, my thing is like their present was covered in glitter. I mean, it was, it may have been a joke. I don't think it was spiteful. But the thing is like, if you would have never mentioned that, it would have never happened.
Exactly. Yeah. Why even bring that up if you don't want it to happen?
Yeah. So like, I mean, people that say like they're allergic to dildos, you're going to probably get a dildo, I mean, and I know Sean from Nerdy Thursday got, something that would open his world up to something a lot bigger.
Yeah. There's a gift floating around of one if you want to see it.
Yeah. If you want to see this secret special gift, send us a message on the slide and we'll show Sean of Nerdy Thursday fame with a dildo that's as big as his forearm.
We should post that to our Patreon. That could be our Santa present to everybody.
Is he in there? I don't know. I have to see. He'd be like, oh, look, you get to reveal yourself, buddy.
I guess we should tell everybody who we are and what we're here for.
Oh, yeah. My name is Lucha Claus. No, not really. I'm Sean.
And Micah.
And Merry Christmas, motherfuckers.
We're actually covering a Christmas variant type game.
Yeah. I mean, that's, that was my thing is like, I wanted to pick a game that nobody else has done. But the bad thing is like, this is still a popular game. We're talking about Donkey Kong Country 3 in a little bit. But this game has a cheat code where you can type in a certain word and it will go Christmas themed in, some parts of the game. And that's what I wanted to go for. I was like, this is our first season. So, we've been kind of like on this holiday kick. Like, in October, we, covered Halloween themed stuff. And obviously in November, we carried, over to the Thanksgiving themed stuff. And now December, might as well let's shoot a little, December-ish stuff. So we wanted to pick something that had something that, the normal player might not know, because you could open up a game that's Santa themed all day long and play that, but you may not know this even exists later on.
I didn't even know Donkey Kong Country 3 existed, so that tells you how much I knew about this game.
Yeah, and I'll get in also a little bit later why you might not know that it even existed, but it's cool. It's cool.
Have you done anything fun recently since we recorded last?
Well, recently I just moved out here right outside of Nashville. So when we first moved here, our apartment complex didn't have a garage unit available. And my biggest thing is if there's a garage here, I'd like to have one. I used to work on cars, so I've got a huge toolbox and everything. And we had to get a storage unit probably like 20 miles down the street. And I just don't give, two shits for my stuff being that far away and be like, man, I need a wrench. Let me go drive, an hour round trip to go get, one wrench. That's just stupid when I can just go out to my garage. So sure enough, a month later, one opens up. Well, I don't have a truck that can pull a trailer. And I definitely don't want to rent another U-Haul just to move a toolbox. So a buddy of mine, which is a valued listener of ours named Jeremy, he came down here from Memphis with his truck, and we rented a trailer from U-Haul and loaded up this huge toolbox and moved it back to my apartments, which it's nice, but like the thing is I want to do is go back through my tools that are stored in totes and put them all back in the drawers and be like, what socket am I missing? Which I already know it's going to be a 10 millimeter if anybody knows anything about missing sockets, but I'm pretty sure there's one or two more small things that I'm missing.
So did you have to move apartments too, or?
No, the apartment's the same. It's just my storage unit. We didn't have the garage when I first moved here, and that was like my number one thing is I wanted one because I like building furniture and whatnot, and I wanted accessibility.
So it's like a detached garage?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
The only default is it's on the whole opposite side of the complex. It's not like I can walk out my door and be like, oh, there's my garage. I literally have to go to the whole opposite side. But hey, it's here. That's all that matters.
Yeah, it's not across town, at least.
Yeah, most definitely.
You
went and did. I think so. You did some holiday stuff today, didn't you?
Yeah, we went. So around here, there's a restaurant that everybody loses their fucking minds over. It's called Patty's 1880s Settlement. I don't know if you've heard of it or not.
Nah.
But like everybody loses their GD mind over it, and it burnt about 2 years ago. Like the whole restaurant caught on fire, and they basically tore the whole fucking thing down and rebuilt it, and it opened back up. But they always do Christmas, like a huge Christmas light set up, and then they have Santa set up. So we took the girls and went down there, and the reason I like going there is they do this really cool thing that I haven't seen anywhere else, where when you walk up, they've got a Mrs. Claus set up, and she's got like a microphone on, and Santa's got an earpiece in. So one parent will stand back with Mrs. Claus while the kids go up and sit with Santa Claus, and like Mrs. Claus will ask you questions like, okay, what's the kid's name? What do they want? And so Santa's talking to them through the earpiece, like listening through the earpiece and saying their name and talking about their teacher or saying what they want for school or what they've been doing. So like it keeps that illusion alive.
That's cool until they become a little bit older and they're like, my whole life was a lie.
Yeah, I'm waiting on that shoe to drop. I promise. We do the Elf on the Shelf thing too, and I'm just waiting for the day when that shoe drops.
I'm still waiting on the Snoop on a Stoop to become real, because I know somebody made that meme a couple years ago, and I was like, motherfucker, I want to put a Snoop on a Stoop. I don't want an Elf on a Shelf.
And some of the stuff that people post, like that they do with their elf on Facebook, is pretty fucking funny though.
Oh yeah, I saw one recently with Thanos, and he snapped, and it was just nothing but a bunch of like crumbled up candy canes.
Yeah, my problem is like I don't want to clean that shit up.
Yeah, I mean, if you got Sonic on a Chronic, and all kinds of other stuff, those memes come around the same time of year. So hey, it's 2019. Let's see what happens.
Battlemania.
Our returning listeners will know very well what Battlemania is. If you're a new listener, I can explain it to you on the real quick. That is where we put up a poll on our Facebook page and allow you to pick between two choices that myself and Sean actually decide upon. Our first 10 episodes, we were doing music battles. Our most recent episodes, we've been doing food battles. And the last episode we did was our Thanksgiving episode. So we actually did our best Thanksgiving, our favorite Thanksgiving side dish.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to like down on yours, but I really think yours was like a secondary dish. Like you have your main entree, then you have like a primary side and then a secondary side. And I want to say yours is more of a secondary, but it is what it is.
Well, and I kept like there were comments on there that people were talking about like they don't. So spoilers. I chose macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, and I picked green bean casserole.
But there were people saying like macaroni and cheese doesn't count as a side dish as Thanksgiving.
Which I mean, here's the thing: it gets served at Thanksgiving, so I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, I look at it as and this was my viewing, and like, not everybody can be on the same side, so that's why it's called Battle Mania because it is a battle. But the way I looked at it personally on my end was like, what's a special dish that you only get around Thanksgiving? Because it's not like you come home on like a Thursday night and it's like, hey man, we've got green bean casserole as a side tonight. You just don't hear that, but you can hear mac and cheese, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, any night of the week. Like you can go to a barbecue shack and you get mac and cheese. You don't get green bean casserole.
I'll never eat green bean casserole, so it would never be a dish I would have during the week to begin with. I don't like green beans.
I did think it was pretty on spot because that one newscaster had posted that they had made green bean casserole and forgot to put the green beans in it and said like Thanksgiving is ruined.
I didn't see that. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I was like, what's the time that I picked this? It happens. I mean, that's the way my brain works. I think my brain lives in the future by about 48 hours generally, but that's for doctors to figure out.
So, like you said, you chose green bean casserole. I went with macaroni and cheese. We had a total of 75 votes, and I won with 63% of those votes. I had 47 versus your 28. So that is another victory. I'm catching up.
Yeah, it's another. It was almost a landslide. It's close. I mean, I did it on Twitter. I put the poll up, and it was literally 1-0. But they did pick green bean casserole, and it wasn't me.
I forgot we even had a Twitter.
Yeah, that's at Digital Cart Pod. If you want to follow me on Twitter for some random bell shit.
So our next Battle Mania that we've chosen to run with is going to be our favorite fast food combo.
Who's picking the loss this time, you or me?
I'm pretty skeptical about mine because I don't know that the restaurant I chose, like the meal itself is really good. So if people dig into it, but the restaurant, I don't know, is a huge regional chain or not.
Well, I mean, as long as you don't pick like In-N-Out or Whataburger, or like a Hardee's, I think you might be kind of all right. Or like even Jack in the Box, but I don't even know what you picked yet.
Well, see, my problem is I've stopped eating out a whole lot too. Like we talked about a couple episodes ago, like I cut out caffeine and then I pack my lunch to work so I don't leave. So like I really don't eat out, like other than like we're going to like a big restaurant, like unless I get burnt out because I just fucking buy TV dinners and snacks and shit and take those to work.
Oh, I understand. I mean, that's what I mean. Like, since I've been home, I've cooked more than I have probably in the last 2 years because, I mean, obviously I'm home every day. But I've also learned what I'm good at cooking and what I'm not good at cooking. But I also learned that I make a pretty fire-ass steak marinade, and I'll send you that a little bit later.
Yeah, and I'm pretty spoiled when it comes to supper. Like when I get home at night, Ashley cooks almost on a nightly basis, so I can't complain there.
I'm the cook here. Like I'm the captain now.
I'm the captain. Look at my eyes. I'm the captain.
Pretty much.
So I'm choosing Zaxby's and the combo. Or Zaxby's is the restaurant. In case people aren't familiar with it, but the combo is called Wings and Things. And what that consists of is it is a meal. Hang on, I'm going to read straight from the website.
Does that come with the bone-in wings?
Yeah, you can get bone-in or boneless, either one. So Zaxby's Wings and Things meal consists of 5 traditional or 5 boneless wings, 3 chicken fingers, chicken strips, crinkle cut seasoned fries, Texas toast, and a drink. You can also get celery and 2 sauces that include the Zax sauce.
Nice. Do you like the Zax sauce?
Not at all.
Really, I like the Zax sauce. What's your favorite wing seasoning they have there at Zaxby's?
So I've started doing this really weird thing. Like I used to get just the barbecue or the mild, but ever since we ate that stupid fucking hot chip, everywhere we go, I've kind of stepped up a little bit. Like I used to, anywhere we went, I would get like a 1 or a mild on the scale. And now I've kind of went up to like middle of the scale, or like a 2 flame, or like a medium. Like even on like chips and salsa, like I'm getting medium. So
you've enhanced your palate.
Yeah, I'm trying to increase my tolerance a little bit, and I blame it on that fucking chip.
Well, my chip has me scared shitless of eating anything hot. Like I don't even want to go to a Chinese place and get like, yeah, let me get some General Tso's chicken, but no, I'm good. Let me what's on the not spicy list, because I feel like I may have damaged myself, and not to do a tangent too much on it, but like I said, I moved that toolbox this weekend, and I've been getting these headaches ever since I've done that 1 chip challenge, and obviously threw up 36 times in 3 hours. Anytime I do anything kind of strenuous work, I get the worst headaches. And I looked it up on like head trauma and headaches. And it says it can last up to a year, because I guess I bruised my brain, from throwing up so much. So whoop-de-fucking-do, Sean. Good job.
Thanks, Mike Lanham.
Yeah. Thanks, mold, you master mold.
So what about your combo? What you going with?
I went for the basic bitch. I mean, and this is what I do. I mean, I'm going for the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich combo with crinkle cut fries and a drink. I've never been a fan of their spicy chicken, so if anybody thought that, I liked spicy beforehand, we just talked about this 1 chip. Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich, just give me the pickles on it. I don't want the cheese. I don't want the deluxe, just the regular chicken sandwich combo. And I feel like I broke the stride today, because what's today that we record on? Sundays. And I sure told Angelica, I was like, bring me home a Popeye's chicken sandwich today. So I had to get Satan's chicken, because God's chicken was closed.
I had that Popeye's chicken, and I wasn't that impressed.
This one I wasn't, and it's they don't use the right pickle. That's one issue. I don't know all the different styles of pickles, but I guess which pickle has like the seeds in it that you can see?
Is that the deal?
Maybe.
Or the sweet?
The sweet. I think they use the sweet pickle, and Chick-fil-A uses the dill, or vice versa. I don't know. Somebody can correct me. I don't know which pickles are pickles in the end, but like they don't use the right pickle at Popeyes.
Yeah, I wasn't
my pickle.
I wasn't a big fan of it when I ate it. Like when I tried it a couple weeks ago.
I mean, it's a bigger piece of chicken. It's juicier. I will give you that, but it doesn't have the breading's obviously different. You can tell a difference on the chickens, and obviously, the bread and everything else.
So, jumping back into the Battlemania train, like we said, that is a Facebook poll that we put up. The episode always drops on a Tuesday, and the Facebook poll for Battlemania always drops on Wednesday afternoon following the episode. It'll go up, of course, like I said, on the Facebook page. You go on there, you vote, let us know if you prefer for this one, the Zaxby's Wings and Things or the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich meal. And then if you have something different that you prefer, like a combo, or you like Whataburger or In-N-Out, or what's one of those other regionals that everybody freaks over?
I mean, do we talk about Hardee's?
Is it Hardee's or is it Carl's Jr.'s?
Well, according to Idiocracy, it's always going to be Carl's Jr. Fuck you, I'm eating. But
you could do the same thing
here
with
it's Hardee's. Yeah,
with the same thing with Checkers and Rallies. I mean, is it a Checkers or is it a Rallies?
Have you ever seen a Checkers?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I think we have Rallies. I don't know. They all look the same. I just know you can buy their fries in the grocery store, and I don't ever have to go to their place ever again.
They've got when I used to go there all the time, I used to get the you can get them loaded up, so they do their seasoned fries covered with ranch and cheddar cheese and bacon bits.
Are you a ranch or a blue cheese guy?
Ranch, all day ranch.
Never blue cheese.
Never. Ashley actually
all right.
makes. She has a recipe for homemade ranch from she got from a local pizza place around here. And it's I can tell you the recipe, but you got to listen real close because I got to whisper because she's looking at me.
Okay.
It's 2 packets of ranch seasoning mix, a jar of mayonnaise.
Are you not Miracle Whip?
No, mayonnaise. Miracle Whip makes it too sweet. And then half of a tall carton of buttermilk.
Gotcha.
And just whip that all together real nice.
Just whip it.
Yeah, just take your whisk and
Whip
just
it real good.
and whip it, and it's real good.
In a circle. In a circle.
It actually lasts a lot longer than store-bought ranch too.
Till it gets creamy.
Pour it down my gullet.
Oh God! Just open up, Micah. Just take this ranch. Take the ranch, Micah.
I would rather do a ranch shot than a sriracha shot. I feel bad for Ryan having to do sriracha shots.
Oh man, yeah, I feel bad for all y'all doing shots on the Extra Life stream because, like I said, my body's still damaged from that chip. I'm looking for 365-day recovery.
Speaking of that, to tangent off again, we actually broke like 3,500 from all the extra like matchings and stuff.
That's what's up, man. That's good. I mean, I'm glad that it's gone. I'm looking forward to next year. Only bigger and better.
Back to Battlemania. Battlemania poll goes up on Wednesdays. I said that already, so get on there and vote. Let us know what you think, what you like, and if you have anything different, put it in the comments. And if you disagree with us, you can suck a fart.
Hey, meet me over by the water cooler. So, what's up? I gotta fill you in on what I've been watching. Oh, jeez. This may contain spoilers.
Yeah, so speaking of spoilers, I'm just going to say that you should watch The Watchmen on HBO, and I'm not going to tell you which episode is the best one because apparently I spoil things.
Oh, it's cool. I mean, a lot of us spoil things. I mean, I spoiled some eggs in the fridge the other day.
But it's really good. Really, really good show.
You know what else is a really, really, really good show?
Have you been
Mandalorian.
Have you been watching shows?
Yeah, I've been watching Mandalorian. Like, I stayed up one night because it releases at 3 a.m. on Friday. I stayed up till 3 a.m. just to watch it on Thursday night, Friday morning. And like Angelica, it was the night of Black Friday. Like, so she works for retail, and she had to go in at 7 o'clock at night on Thanksgiving, and she got off at 4 a.m. So she comes home, and I'm still up watching The Mandalorian, and she's trying to talk, and I'm like, shh. I'm like, go, I'll talk to you in an hour.
I haven't watched the newest one. I forgot it dropped Friday. I was busy, and then I started watching. So they've got that show on Netflix called The Toys That Made Us.
Yeah, and I know they came out with a spinoff. Would you say?
Yeah, it's called The Movies That Made Us. So I watched all 4 episodes of that. That was really good.
I didn't watch all 4 episodes. I watched the first one, which was Home Alone.
Yeah, there's Home Alone, Dirty Dancing, Die Hard, and Ghostbusters.
Yeah, so I'm on the Ghostbusters one, which I didn't know that, Dan Aykroyd's family, all the history on that. So it's been very interesting. I know that, we recently had Dave from the Cape Podcasters, on with us, and he's a big, big film critic. And he didn't know about this show. I was like, dude, you need to watch this. This is literally right up your alley.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Like, I could see them like doing that show.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, when I watched The Toys That Made Us, like, I have this big, 36-inch Sony CRT TV in the game room, so I have a Roku hooked up to it, and I watch stuff on Netflix on this old CRT TV. I was watching The Toys That Made Us, and I was like, it looked good because, like, a lot of the shit they're showing, you came into that original 4:3 aspect. So I'm sitting there watching this stuff, and I'm just like, golly, man. I'm like, the one about like Ninja Turtles, just like, I just melted. Like, I was however many ages old when, I was into Ninja Turtles. And I was like, my whole life is, turn back the time, and like the whole Power Rangers segment with all the, I mean, I even watched the one with My Little Pony. I mean, I watched all of them. I was like, holy shit, dude. I was like, this is, true, like a nostalgia kickback, which that's what everybody loves these days. Everything's nostalgia.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what, like, you're talking about the Home Alone episode of Movies That Made Us. It blew my mind. Like some of the behind the scenes stuff, like them talking about how they didn't use the interior of the house that they show you. Like they built the entire interior of that house in a fucking gymnasium of some like abandoned school. Like never fucking knew that.
And I didn't know, that Daniel Stern, originally turned down the role for money, and then, they asked him to come back after, the whole like production got canceled and come back and everything. I was like, holy shit! I was like, this stuff I really never knew, but like, it's always a movie I've loved, and it just made it just a little bit nicer in the end.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really, really informative. Series finale.
You still watching The Office?
Yeah, I'm fucking binging on that hard. I took a break to watch movies that made us. I'm about halfway through season 4, and then I've been taking breaks to watch like Watchmen and then Silicon Valley, because the series finale of Silicon Valley is tonight as well.
Of course, I've been keeping up on Castle Rock. I know I'm trying not to spoil it for you at all, but season 2 finally does tie in to season 1 late into the show. So I mean, it gets real deep and more interesting now.
I'm gonna wait, I think, until it completely drops at this point. Like instead of trying to catch up.
I don't blame you.
That way, I can just.
And you will be proud of me. I did end up watching The Righteous Gemstones.
What did you think?
I think it was really strong in the beginning, and it kind of fell off towards the end, but it had good production to it.
I think the ending leaned too heavy into the uncle character.
Oh yeah, I mean, I understand a lot of it, but it was good, but like, it felt dragged on, kind of like season 2 of Eastbound and Down. It gave you a lot, but then towards the end, just like, did y'all just run out of material to write with?
And then, of course, tonight, Crisis on Infinite Earths. The first part 1 of it dropped tonight. So they split it up, though. I'm kind of butthurt about it because they're doing 5 parts. So it's 5 hours in total. But they're running part 1 tonight, part 2 tomorrow night, part 3 on Tuesday night. And then the part 4 and part 5 won't air until January.
Oh, like a season hiatus type of...
Yeah, like a Christmas break type deal.
I hate those. Those like... That's one of the reasons why I only watch stuff that comes out in a full, release, is because of these holiday, things. Because my birthday's in January, so I always know, like, it's in the latter part of January, and I always know, like, in that time is when I can start looking for, shows to start coming back. Like when Heroes was out, I hated it, on those. And that's when I really started, because they had the writer strike back then, and that's when a lot of these shows, just so much changes in that off season, and I can't deal with it. I need something during my holiday break because I'm bored during that time.
Yeah, I've gotten to where I actually that's the whole reason why I've continued on with The Office and binging through it, is because I'm trying to save like a lot of the stuff that's dropping on Netflix or Castle Rock or stuff like that to make it through the holiday break. Because some of the stuff, like, for instance, I done fucking got hooked on stupid ass fucking on Grey's Anatomy, and so that won't start back until like it dropped. The last episode was on or whatever, and then it's off for almost 2 months. Like it won't come back on for 2 months.
Oh wow. I have been going back to the AMC movies a little bit, like I talked about, possibly canceling going to Regal. I don't know. I found out that the Murfreesboro AMC actually has the nice recliner seats and whatnot, and I have to pass that one even to go to the Cool Springs ones. I was like, why am I, passing another AMC just to go see another movie? So we went and saw Queen and Slim. Well, let's just say I was very uncomfortable leaving the theater, but it was a good film. It was very controversial with today's times, on the whole cops killing blacks situation. So when I left the theater, we were one of the only white couples in there. So and we kind of people straight up looked at us, and I felt like that it ain't my fault. Don't look at me, situation, but it is what it is. This is the world that we live in.
I forgot that was even a movie, to be honest.
It's good. It's, it's basically like a Black Bonnie and Clyde, honestly. But it was a very good movie. I really did like it. I caught Knives Out on Black Friday because she was working, and I was like, well, I'm gonna go do something, because I'm bored at home all day long, which was pretty good. I just said the first one was like Bonnie and Clyde. This one's kind of like Clue in a way. I know who did it. I don't want to spoil it for nobody. If anybody likes to see it, because it was, the Thanksgiving movie, that went out, and give it a watch. I mean, it's worth a watch. I can't say it's a theater movie, but it's a good movie. They tell you, early off in the movie who does it, but there's plot twists left and right, and that's what I kind of liked about this movie.
I finally got around talking about movies. Like, I don't watch a lot, but I watched Good Boys, and I finally watched Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Oh wow, how'd you like Spider-Man?
It was really good. I feel like the Spider-Man movies and like the Guardians of the Galaxy movies are like a completely different subset of the Marvel movies, like just their tone, and like how they take on things, like because of the comedy aspect of it.
Do you feel this is one of your favorite animated films, though?
What, Spider-Man?
Yeah, the Spider-Verse.
Oh no, I'm talking about Far From Home. As I finally
watched. Far From Home. I don't know why I thought you said Spider-Verse. My bad.
No, you good.
But yeah, Far From Home. I liked it. I was a little judgmental on it. With the whole snap and come back. And the ages and everything. I'm still like, no, not a lot of it does make sense. But it sucks that he's still in school and whatnot.
I'm glad they at least tried to explain it and say, hey, these kids there's an age difference. Like, they had addressed it head on.
Oh yeah,
but
I also caught up. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say they're a different set of movies. Like the overall tone, and you need that anyways. I mean, I get it. Like, everything can't be as serious as Captain America.
No, and I mean, Spider-Man's always gonna be a little aimed in a different age range also. So I mean, they have to make it feel fitting. The only thing I didn't like about that movie, and like I think I mentioned before, is I really felt that it rode on Tony Stark's coattails the whole movie.
Yeah, they were definitely
the Edith glasses and all that. I'm like, can we just let Peter Parker be a little bit on his own and not ride on the coattails the whole time? But
no, they were definitely playing into to Tony Stark and the fucking end game and everything.
No, it was hard on it. I mean, like, if you could ride somebody's nuts, this is it. We did 21 Bridges. We ended up catching that, and Ford versus Ferrari. I was hesitant on seeing Ford versus Ferrari at first because I didn't know if I could sit through a 2.5 hour long of basically Ford and Ferrari. But the story was good. Matt Damon did exceptionally well. Christian Bale did exceptionally well in it. I'm a car guy, so I liked seeing them tuning up this GT40s the whole time, which they sound pretty fucking wicked on the screen.
I guess the big thing for me is going to be Crisis. I don't know if I'm going to wait and try to watch all 5 at once, or if I'm going to go 3 and 2 and let it split me up.
The hard thing about that one is there's going to be so much spoilers you're going to have to look out for, and so much stuff that we share on the page already. We might have to just watch them as they go. That's
what I'm thinking too, unfortunately, but it is what it is.
Yeah, so if you want to keep up with, stuff that's happening, 24/7, 365, because you and I obviously sleep on different, schedules, the Digital Cartridge page always has some good media outlet stuff for you, whatever we talk about.
Yeah, we some sharing fools.
Oh, most definitely.
And now, what you came here for, the main topic.
And now, what you came here for, the Donkey Show. Or, I don't know why I keep calling that. It's just... for years I've always wondered, why is Donkey Kong, called Donkey? I mean, I guess I could really just look that up and answer it myself. But what you're here for is Donkey Kong Country 3, Dixie Kong's Double Trouble. And here's one thing about this: even though it's titled Dixie Kong's Double Trouble, I feel it's more around Kiddy Kong than Dixie itself.
This game.
I have a feeling I picked one that doesn't fit Micah's appeal factor again.
I mean, we'll get into it, but
So Donkey Kong Country 3 Dixie Kong's Double Trouble is a platform video game developed by Rare and published by Nintendo for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. It was released on November 18th, 1996 in North America. This is the third installment of the Donkey Kong Country series and serves as a direct sequel to Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest. It was also re-released on the Game Boy Advance in 2005, and the game was made for download on the Wii's Virtual Console in 2007 and for the Wii U's Virtual Console in 2014. And I think both those are shut down, if I'm not mistaken. So if you don't have it on those, you're not getting it now. But the plot revolves around Dixie Kong and her cousin Kiddy Kong in their attempts to rescue the kidnapped Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong from the series' antagonist, King K. Rool. The game is set in the Northern Hemisphere, a fictionalized version of the Northern Europe and Canada. Dixie Kong's Double Trouble utilizes the same Silicon graphics technology from its predecessors, which features the pre-rendered 3D imagery. The game received positive reviews upon release. Critics praised the visuals and various aspects of the gameplay, but most were divided over the game's soundtrack. So, Micah, I've already heard your ooze, about this, so I'm assuming that you don't like this game right off the bat?
So my biggest, I don't want to say my biggest problem, but the first problem was like the overworld map. Like, I feel like, and it's been a long time since I played DKC 1 or DKC 2, so don't get me wrong, but I feel like they were a lot more linear, where this one was not. Like,
well, here's the thing about this one. So this game came out in November 1996. The Nintendo 64 came out that Christmas. So the thing is like this game was made by Rare, and the thing is like this was made by Rare's B team. Basically, their A team was working, on GoldenEye. So that's why you see a lot of differences in between 2 and 3 itself. Like, I ain't gonna lie, Donkey Kong Country 2 is probably one of the best Super Nintendo games of all time. It's good all the way around. The thing about Donkey Kong Country 3 is it shares a lot of the same aspects, but if you notice, the music isn't as catchy, and there's obviously, differences, which Kiddy Kong himself kind of, takes over the role, gameplay with the barrel roll that Donkey Kong did in the original Donkey Kong Country. And if you look at it in the installments, in your first Donkey Kong Country, you had Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong. And then Donkey Kong was obviously gone in 2, so you had Diddy Kong and then you had Dixie Kong. And now Diddy Kong's gone, and now you have Dixie Kong and Kiddy Kong, which, here's one thing about Kiddy Kong. If he's a baby, this dude is fucking gigantic. I mean, he's huge.
yeah,
I mean, he's a baby.
and he annoyed me. Like, I don't remember, like I said, I don't remember 1 and 2 as much because I haven't played them in forever, but I feel like the biggest like pet peeve to begin with was like if you threw either of the either character, they just stayed in place. Like, you had to go back and touch them, or they would just stay there and you would lose them. Like, I don't remember that mechanic in the first 2.
I can't recall back on that, but yeah, if you throw one of them where it doesn't like land right and they're crying or dizzy or whatever, yeah, you got to kind of go back and like tag team them back in, So that was the thing. But like I said, this, what I do like about this game is it plays exceptionally well. I mean, there are times where you get a little bit of lag because there's so much shit on the screen. I mean, I can guarantee you that this game was pushing the limits on the Super Nintendo. I mean, in all bits and aspects. It's bright. It's beautiful. It's got, some really good gameplay. And I mean, what's different about this is you can't run and gun it like you can in Donkey Kong Country 2. You actually have to go back and do stuff. It's got like puzzlish factors to it. And, there's a lot more obstacles, but, we'll get into the gameplay, which Dixie Kong's Double Trouble is a platform game where players control Dixie Kong and her baby cousin Kiddy Kong through 8 worlds, which comprise of a total of 48 levels. Many of the gameplay elements are from previous games in the series, mark returns such as the barrels, bonus levels, which reward the player with special bonus coins. You have DK coins, which, Micah, did you learn how to get these DK coins?
Is that the gold ones or the silver ones?
No. These are the ones that you can, there's a guy holding them, and it's a DK coin, and you can't really hit the dude. You have to hit them from behind to, kill them. You have to like throw a barrel over their back, bounce it off a wall, and then you get these special DK coins.
Oh no, I didn't. I thought those were just shields
Yeah.
that was used to boost your jump.
I did too until I stopped and paid attention. That's where the older these older 1 and 2 made me think that that's the DK coins that you need to really progress through the game. But I probably played 15% of this game before I was like, fuck, I need to go back, and I just ended up restarting the whole damn game and going back because. One thing I've never liked doing, and this comes back from Super Mario World, is having to go back and replay the levels I've already played. I understand it makes aspects of games change, but it's so tedious to me, especially if I've got 48 levels. I don't want to have to go back through 48 levels to 100, 103 plus. I think this one goes up to 105 completion. Donkey Kong 1 was at 101%. Donkey Kong 2, 102%, and you would think that this one would be 103%, but it's not. This one goes up higher. I think it goes at 105% at the end.
Yeah, and there's like if you get the 105%, there's an alternate ending.
See, I didn't even make it that far. I mean, I literally, I know I've talked in, I think, last episode how I consider you the completionist and me the cheat. And, obviously you had to type in a cheat code for what we wanted on this, which was if you got to type in the cheat code Mary, all the bonus levels would be of Christmas themed. Which this game already has, I think, a Christmas themed boss in a way. So, I mean, I think that's why they also were able to, they typed in the whole Mary, word. But getting back on, stuff that, you get your animal helpers and your multiplayer mode that came back. Both of the 2 playable Kongs have unique abilities, such as Dixie's ability to slow down her spin by spinning her ponytail. And she very much reminds me of Tails from the Sonic and Tails because, you like Tails, would literally fly with his tail, and she has a ponytail. And Kitty's ability is cool because he can bounce across open water. And this is really good on some levels because, if you get in that water, there's not always stuff that's good. So the Kongs can also pick each other up and throw them around each levels. And the impact of the other player character can reveal like cracked floors, like Kiddy Kong, he's heavy. So if you see like a cracked floor, you can throw him down in it or you can roll him into something and it's going to open up to like a little secret area or hidden switches. So at any time you just can switch the Kongs as long as they're both on the screen, during a level. The levels in the game include a mixture of platforming, swimming, and on-rail levels. They're based around several returning themes, including forests, cliffsides, factories, and mountaintops. This level design is more diverse compared to its predecessors, which includes more complex puzzles and obstacles. That's what I talked about, having to, go back and do this, turn around. Every level has an enemy called a coin, which each one of these bears the Donkey Kong coin I was talking about to the respectable level. And he's holding it as a shield. And as these enemies face forwards to the players, they must be defeated by, you can throw a steel barrel behind them, and so it bounces off a wall and, comes back at them. And so, like I said, if you want to go back and give this a play, you'll actually get a little further this time.
So what is the point of the Donkey Kong coins?
I want to say that you can cash them in to Funky Kong and you get his helicopter towards the end. And you can just fly around everywhere.
Gotcha. Spoilers, you were talking about me being the completionist and I did not complete this.
Yeah. I mean, this game takes some time. I mean, I think a good run through is right at 5 or 6 hours. And, I mean, that's full sitting down. And luckily, this game has saves, so that works out a lot.
Yeah, the save states in the save room where you go in and the granny's playing the fucking video game was pretty funny.
Oh yeah, and if you notice, she has a Nintendo 64. This game literally has little hints, because if you're typing another cheat code, which is the sound menu, it plays off a Nintendo 64. So this game overworld is also, like I said, more complex, like you mentioned earlier, allowing players to explore between each area instead of forcing them along that linear path. And to achieve this, the game includes several vehicles, such as a speedboat and a hovercraft that can use to traverse the overworld. And you can go up waterfalls with it, which show me anything that can go up a waterfall and I'll fucking buy it right now. But the game features your animal friends, which return from its predecessors, including animals includes On Guard, the swordfish, Squitter, the spider, and Squawks, the parrot. And new animals include Ellie, the elephant, which she sucks.
Yep, real bad. I mean, literally, real bad.
I mean, she can suck up water, but when she's scared of the squeaks in that one level, it made me mad just running away from all the squeaks the whole time, which are the big mice. But she can suck water up into her trunk to spray enemies. and Perry, the parallel bird who flies directly above them, it can follow you, and basically you can get all the out of reach items like the balloons that have, 1-ups, 2-ups, and the coins that you can't get. So, which is fun. But in the previous game, players can directly crawl animals instead of just riding them. In Donkey Kong 2, you just got on top of that rhino and, you just barrel through stuff, which actually you get to control the animals this time, which is a big difference. But scattered around this northern scrimscare are the brothers bears. They're a family of bears who provide the players with hints or key items or services, which basically all these dudes complain if you don't have shit that they want. Players can collect items in levels to trade with the bears for other items to progress to later levels. And one such item is a bear coin, which acts as game currency, obviously. Other members from the Kong family, such as Cranky Kong, Wrinkly Kong, Swanky Kong, and Funky Kong, can also be found around the overworld, each to whom their own services.
Yeah, you've got the bears, like one of them, he'll have like speed run levels, and you got to beat his speed run time, and then he'll in World 2, I think is the one I got to, if you're going linear, you beat his speed run time, and then he gets mad and he jumps around and he unlocks an alternate path because he jumps around and he breaks a log or something, and then
so you can get you another banana bird?
Yeah, you can get another banana bird that goes back to the save state room with the granny.
Yeah, I think banana birds are very interesting. And I want to say that these brother bears, I feel that they are related to the whole Banjo-Kazooie people for some odd reason. I feel like they're, part of that world.
You were talking about finding Funky Kong, trying to fucking the little side game where you had to spin the coin to go against Funky Kong and the target thing. You had the 3 different options. That motherfucker gives you no leeway. You want to talk about Nintendo hard? That's fucking Nintendo hard.
Dude, I probably played that minigame 20 times with, trying to hit those little things and just making sure that, I could get to 25 before he could every time or whatnot.
Yeah, and you got to, the problem is you're not, when you throw, it's off to the right. You have to,
it's sidearm.
You have to take into consideration that he's going to sidearm and it's going to be to the right.
Yeah, you're throwing that change up every time,
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail you.
Oh, you're good, man. I like these little the side games are fun, So this game had, positive reviews, which a lot of players, don't like this game because, it's like me, I talk about how I like Super Mario Brothers 2 more than I like, 1, which, you're vice versa. So, everybody's a critic. But, everybody that played, if you played all 3 of these, 1, 2, and 3, you're going to say that Donkey Kong 2 is the best. That's just the way it was. You had Rare's A-Team on it, and obviously, the B-Team was on this one. So, there are differences, but all you can do is you can't, if a game is so good, you can only do your best, to try to make it better. The thing is, if it's already the best, it's something hard to, beat on. And, obviously, I mentioned how they did the one character fall off every time. You had Donkey Kong, then you had Diddy, now you have Dixie, as the main characters, which it's good. But, a lot of people, from my understanding, I mentioned how I feel this game revolved more around Kitty than Dixie. I was doing some reading up around this time in 96. Having a female as a main character didn't sell, but babies were more of a, more appealing at the time. So that's why they actually changed a lot of the marketing towards Kitty Kong instead of Dixie, because they felt that Kitty would sell better. But the problem is the dude's dumb. He is just dumb. I felt like they could have changed the storyline a little bit better and just gave me Donkey Kong back and have, Dixie with him. And it probably would have been better.
I was a little butthurt when I loaded it up and realized that I wasn't playing as Donkey Kong or Diddy Kong, because that's the 2 characters I was familiar with.
Well, with a misleading, title, Donkey Kong Country. I guess it's, let's look at Donkey Kong as the king. We'll look at it as a king, and this is his whole country. This is his family going around. But it could have just been better as a spinoff and just called this, Dixie Kong, instead of calling it Donkey Kong.
Well,
Country 3,
and like you said,
it's a series.
Being so late in the Super Nintendo life, to come out right before the N64 itself dropped, and having the B team that's the one that's working on it, it strikes me as more of a cash grab and trying to like get every penny they could out of the name.
Oh yeah, because I mean the thing is so long, towards the end of the Super Nintendo's timeline, and everybody has literally migrated onto the Nintendo 64 by now. So this was just a game to put on a shelf to still, revenue and some money, but it was still a great game. That's the thing. Like, you can have some shit ass games towards the end of that release, because I saw now on the Wii, I think Just Dance 2020 is still out for the Nintendo Wii, and I was like, why are you still making games for a console that's
dead?
Been superseded twice? It's been superseded twice. You had the Wii U, and now you got the Switch, and now we're already on the second version of the Switch, even. So I mean, it's way past.
Well, you've got. I'm sure they're marketing to people, especially like grandmas and grandpas and aunts and uncles and stuff like that are going to go and buy a game at Walmart that's on sale for $5 or $10 for somebody that they're trying to drop in as a Christmas present. Like, if this dropped right before N64 dropped at Christmas, like, that would be a perfect, okay, well, little Billy, I don't know that he's got the new Nintendo 64, but I know he's got a Super NES, so I'm going to pick this $10 or $20 game up that's discounted down so that he's got a new game.
Listen here, if anybody is buying their kids Just Dance 2020 for the Nintendo Wii, you need to man up and buy a new system.
I guarantee you somebody is.
Well, I mean, I can't say much because, like, the Wii itself was, sponsored by, I think, the American Diabetic Association, because, it had the Wii Fit board. So, I mean, people were generally losing weight. There was, like, good stories about people losing weight with the Wii. So, I mean, I guess Just Dance goes along with probably the jumping around weight loss.
Yeah, and here's the other side of it is a lot of nursing homes use Just Dance for, like, that's one of their activities they do during the week. And don't ask me why I know that. I just do. It's one of them random thoughts.
All I don't need to know about, some grandmas dancing to Old Dirt Road now.
I mean, yeah, like it's going for sale on Best Buy, like on Best Buy and Amazon. It's $30. So, like, they're doing that for, that's their exercise for an activity for a day. So that's why it's still coming out on a Wii, because they're not going to drop $200, $300 to get a Switch. But if they've got an old Wii system and they can pass it off as an activity, the same thing can be said for probably for like daycares and schools and preschools and stuff like that. Like, they can throw that in, the kids can dance around to it, and I mean, they're not going to drop the money for a new system.
And who cares if they break the Wii?
Exactly. You can get another one for $15 fucking.
Exactly. I did find the story a little bit on this game real quick, so we'll run through that real fast while we got some time. So, shortly after the events of Diddy Kong's quest, Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong suddenly disappear in the Northern Hemisphere. Dixie Kong sets off to find the pair and is joined by her cousin Kiddy Kong, and aided by Funky Kong's vehicles. Literally, Funky Kong just says, "Yo, watch this kid." Literally, he's too busy working on all of his things. He just says, "Take this kid." They reach Castle Chaos, the lair of a robot named Chaos, who is thought to be the new leader of the Kremlings. After they destroy Chaos, the curtain in the background rolls up to reveal the robot was being controlled by Baron K. Rulenstein, the new moniker of King K. Rool. After the duo fights him, Donkey and Diddy pop out of the destroyed Chaos, implying they were just being used to power the robot. So Dixie and Kitty uncover the extinct volcanic island of Krematoa. They beat Boomer, an exiled member of the Brothers Bear, and inside his Anderson shelter, he agrees to destroy the rocks hindering the path in exchange for bonus coins. After Dixie and Kitty find all the bonus coins and 5 cogwheels hidden in Krematoa, the duo give the cogs to Boomer, who puts them into a machine that reactivates Krematoa, revealing that Nautilus K. Rulenstein's personal submarine. The Kongs board the submarine and battle against him in there. However, he escaped once again. Once the Kongs collect all the DK coins, what we talked about earlier, they give the coins to Funky. In exchange, he gives them a gyrocopter. The duo then finds the enigmatic creature called the Banana Bird Queen, who is bound to a barrier cast by Kay Rulenstein. She tells the Kongs that she can only be freed if her separated children return to her, and that will rid the land of Kay Rule if she is freed. The Kongs find each of her children in a cave, which one of the birds is trapped in a crystal which shatters when the Kongs complete a Simon Says-like memory game. And after rescuing them and completing a large trade sequence between the brother bears, the Kongs return the children to the Queen. The Queen and her children all sing Annihilating the Barrier. The Queen proceeds to chase K. Rool, who is fleeing in a hovercraft. When she catches up to him, she drops a giant eggshell on top of him, which Dixie and Kitty land on. The Kongs repeatedly knock on the shell, annoying K. Rool. Game over. I never made it that far, but it sounds like I should have.
That's the 105% ending.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So I just read the ending, but I'd love to play it. And I know you talked about you watched a little bit of it, because you didn't have time, which the thing is, I know people that play Donkey Kong Country 2 every year just to, play it again. And I've got all the time in the world, this game's frustrating though. I mean, it's harder than what it feels like. I know I tried to beat that spider boss and I probably went through 20 lives where I figured out that I should use Dixie and just hold the barrels up in my hair and he'll roll down and hit it every time.
Yeah, I ran into that situation a lot. Like, just hold on to the barrels and like run underneath an enemy versus trying to throw it at them.
Oh, most definitely. And I mean, this game, like I said, it got really good scores. Like EGM gave it an 8.125 out of a 10. Game Informer, 9 out of 10. GamePro gave it 3 out of 5 stars. GameSpot was 7.8 out of a 10. GameSpot was 4.5. Like IGN was an 8.5 out of a 10. Nintendo Life, 9 out of 10. I mean, this thing got like an 85% basically, out of 100 ranking, everywhere it went. So people can say this wasn't a good game, but don't lie to yourself. It really is. I mean, if you sit back and look at a lot of, the graphics that are detailed in this, and like if you're looking back at the mountains and you see the water, you can see the reflections on there. I mean, there's a lot put into this game for sprite work, sounds, and everything else. It's a platformer. It's hard. It's not, these people have, played over these years. They've learned how to make these games more complicated, and you're going to have to, live up to what rare games are. They're not the easiest games in the world.
No, and I think that's my problem going into is I was expecting something like more polished, and I'm probably nostalgia glasses probably hindered it a little bit looking back on DKC 1 and 2. Like, I'm sure I had some nostalgia glass problems going on too.
Well, I guess, do you want to wrap this game up and go to some ratings on this so we can see exactly how much you hated it?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably not as much as I'm leaning on to be, because like the hitbox, I had a problem with the hitbox. I felt like the hitbox was huge.
It is. I mean, if it touches your hair, you're out.
Like, so that was a huge problem for me. But there's a lot of innovative stuff, and then watching, like I said, I didn't complete it, so I watched some videos, and like there's some later levels where there's like bobsleds and like there's ghost barrels that come up and disappear and stuff like that. So there's aspects to it to where I can see where they've increased and they went above and beyond DK 1 and 2. But
so a lot of people call this the swan song of the Donkey Kong countries for the the Super Nintendo, because it was towards the end. And honestly, if you look at it like that, I mean, it's a pretty good final play.
Yeah, and like you said, the thing you got to keep in mind with it is it is a Nintendo platformer, and it is a rare game, like a rare published game. So it's not gonna be easy, and I think I went into it anticipating it being easier than it was, so I think that was a lot of the frustration for me too.
Do you think this was easier than Mega Man or harder?
Harder, honestly, just because of the hitbox. So
yeah, I mean, it's a much larger game too. That's what really gets this, is like, Super Nintendo games in general, like walking on to like Super Mario World and all these Donkey Kongs, they're large. I mean, they introduce save states, and you couldn't beat a game in 2 hours. You had to spend 5, 6, 7, 8 hours playing a game.
Yeah, and that's a lot of the levels themselves, like you talked about, were like the layout of the level was a puzzle.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not just going left and right. It's going up, and then it's going back down, and it's going back up, and going left, and finding these bonus barrels, which, that's what our Mary code. We didn't even talk about the Mary code much, except for the bonus levels. So if you find these barrels, they're the bonus levels. The stars that were originally there are replaced with jingle bells, and it's playing, Christmas music in the background. And the ones that would have the bananas are replaced with presents, which honestly, I think trying to capture the presents was easier than trying to catch the bananas, because those, not ripe bananas are harder to see on the screen other than these presents.
Yeah, and their hitboxes are a lot smaller.
Oh yeah, most definitely. So I mean, it's, if you want to, throw a little, Christmas, shine into it, I will have the cheat code for this in the show notes. So all you gotta do is, if you play this game, go to where the menu select screen is and type in the LR combination and type in the word Mary, and it'll tell you to select your game and go to your bonus stages. And like I said, you'll have some Christmas theme to it.
I guess we can go ahead. I can't think of anything else really. We can go ahead and jump into ratings.
Well, I know that I don't know one of the bosses' names because, like I said, I didn't make it that far, but one of the bosses is a giant snowman, and you have to throw snowballs at him, ironically. And so that's what I mentioned. I felt like they wanted to throw the Christmas theme in this because you're fighting a snowman at one time, and they work hand in hand. So that's why you're getting this Christmas theme-ish cheat code game for this
ho,
month.
ho,
ho. Ho, 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 motherfucker. You get a donkey show. No. So if this is your first time listening, this is the way that we like to rate these games. We have what we call a shelf system. And it started off as a 1, 2, 3, shelf. So originally it was top shelf, middle shelf, bottom shelf. Then we incorporated the glass case, which goes on top, which is for your rarest to rare, your highly coveted games. And then we have the basket on the side, or like Micah just likes to call it, the under to the shelf. So Micah, on our 5-tier shelf, where would you put this game?
So within the first hour of playing it, I even messaged you, like, I was bound and determined it was going to be with Super Mario Brothers 2, and it was going to go under the shelf in the basket. I was fucking over it. I was done with it. Like, bleh. The more I played it and talking about it and stuff like that, I've talked myself up to the bottom shelf just because of the history of it and the fact that, it's building upon the foundation from Donkey Kong Country 1 and 2, but the difficulty of it for me and the fact that there was such a huge hitbox, like, that just really weighed me down. And there were some levels that I got stuck on and I could not get off of for the life of me because the hitbox was so large. Like, every time I tried to do anything, I would fucking get hit and I would die. Or there were some jumps that you had to make just freaking perfect and land. And that goes back into Nintendo platforming. I mean, that is what it is. But like I said, I've talked myself up to the bottom shelf, so at least I'm not going to get a bunch of Super Mario Brothers 2 type hate from Donkey Kong Country people. What about you?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a Digital Cartridge Micah haters, fan group out there somewhere.
I would not doubt it one bit.
So, I mean, this is the second time I think I'm dead on with you. This is a bottom shelf game for me, and that goes back to, people like me even saying that, probably Donkey Kong Country 2, like I mentioned, is probably one of the best Super Nintendo games out there. There's others, but I'm talking about the way that the game played. I mean, it was pretty much perfect in all the aspects. The music was great. It's just fun, fast gameplay. And this one having, Kiddy Kong slows you back down because he's an overgrown big dumb baby. So this is definitely a bottom shelf game for me. I would like to finish this one, fully out, which I probably will. I'll probably cheat my way through it. It is what it is. There's a cheat code for 50 lives, even though it's easy to get lives on here. And it's just as easy to die as well.
Yeah, it takes absolutely nothing to run through some lives in this game.
Yeah, and I mean, because, I like to run stuff fast, and, if you don't hit one of those little bouncing dudes right on top of the head, I mean, it's game over every time, I
guess, do you have anything else you want to contribute to the the Donkey Kong Country 3 discussion before we jump into an outro?
No, I guess we could. Do you want to go ahead and talk about what we're going to cover next before we even get into the outros, so people listen a little
Yeah,
more?
we can give everybody that little reach around tease.
Yeah. I mean, so our reach around from us to you is we want to do what we would call the Listener's Choice Awards, is what we wanted to, I guess, list it as or whatnot. So this will be the last game of the year we want to know what you want us to play. I'm not asking for a AAA title like Modern Warfare or Overwatch or anything, big up there. Something in the retro aspect. You can go NES, you can go Game Boy, you can go Sega, Super Nintendo, TurboGrafx, anything in these, these older, games. What do y'all want us to play? So we want to hear from y'all and, post it on our wall. Give us a call. I'll listen to it. Or, you can even text us at, 470-344-4825. That's 470-DIGITAL. Call or give us a text. Let us know what you want to play. We'll put it up on a poll on our Facebook or on Twitter also. And, whichever vote wins. But here's the thing. If it goes silent and I don't have at least, like 3 or 4 things to put up there, we might default back down to like an RPG. We haven't really covered an RPG. I used to like playing them, but I haven't probably played them in 20 years. So I want to see if my patience level is the same as, basically, people call farming or doing whatnot. So it could be a toss up. You can save us or you can help us. That's the way you can play this game. But we really want to look at it as our gift to you. You've all had to listen to what we pick. We want to play what you want us to,
Yeah, and you can even recommend. I mean, go as far as like if you want us to watch some stupid ass movie. I don't care to watch a movie. Just like
yeah. I mean, I'd like to keep it on the movie side since we are on the 221 segment. But I mean, if it comes down to 5 people like, yo, we all want you to cover this one movie, that's fine. We can do that.
I'm not watching any porn.
Yeah, we're not watching Debbie Does Dallas, and reviewing that for maybe a Patreon. But I might get in deep shit if I, was like, what'd you do for Patreon? I watched porn and reviewed it. That's not kosher.
That wouldn't have. There wouldn't be very much episode content on that either.
Yeah, I mean, all you're gonna hear is some slapping and some sweating, and this is the AVN podcast.
your sock you were talking about at the beginning of the episode might make a return.
Yeah, it might be filled up and squishy.
Moist. It's gonna be moist.
Oh, that's not a word that bothers me. I know people have clutch words that kill them. A lot of people are like, I can't hear moist, or people can't hear the word cunt, or stuff like that. So I don't know.
What was it they said on that Good Boys movie? She's gonna make you coom. You're gonna coom.
Yeah. How'd you that kid was in the movie Dr. Sleep, and he played a really good scared kid in that. The little super skinny white kid. So I guess we can walk to those outros. Like I said, if you're not already typing up on Facebook telling us what to play, we might be, going for our own. And here's the thing, maybe we can do it this way also. If these stars align, let's say there's enough, people that say, hey, we want you to play this game, and the person that said, hey, we want you to play this game, if your game wins, we might even ask you to become a guest host for that episode. Merry Christmas, yo.
That's exactly what I was about to say. You can even come on and talk about your game and let me shit on it for you.
Yeah, we can see how big we can fill up Santa's bag full of shit.
So always want to thank everybody for listening. You can find all of our content at digitalcartridgepodcast.com. We do have links at the top of the page to our t-shirts. Sean has t-shirts. He has hoodies on there. You can order directly from Amazon, and they will come right to your house. They would make some amazing Christmas gifts. If you don't know what to get someone, just get them a Digital Cartridge t-shirt or hoodie, and they'll really like it because they're super nice.
I will say order them one size big.
Yeah, for sure.
I will say that. Yeah.
We also have the link to our Patreon. You can go on there. You donate even $1, and you get access to anything on there, including both of the videos we talked about earlier, eating the death chip that Mike Lanham sent us. both those videos are on there, so you can watch that for just $1. We have all of our social media.
There's other content.
Oh yeah, you've got the what was it, dad jokes that you and Ben did?
Yeah, there's dad jokes. You can also hear my wonderful rapping skills.
I forgot about that.
Which, I was invited. I went up against Post Malone, for Artist of the Year.
There's links on there to all the social media. So you mentioned the Twitter earlier. You can find that. You can find our Instagram. You can find our Facebook. And of course, Facebook's the one where we do a lot of sharing with current media and memes and polls and stuff like that. And then, of course, there's a link to show you where all the places where you can find our content as far as streaming capability is and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we started putting stuff on YouTube. I do know that I uploaded last episode also as a Facebook video, which I think I got some feedback on, some listenings to it. I did notice that we did lose a lot of listens on our podcast platform, but I mean, maybe a lot of people are watching on the video side as well.
We started the group. So if you've listened to the last 17 episodes, we always have had a wrestling kind of bumper and a discussion, but we went in and we decided to kind of keep that in the group. So I started a group on Facebook, and it is called From the Top Rope. It's the same thing as what it was here, but we're keeping a lot of the wrestling discussion there. And then we've decided we're going to probably cover wrestling like once a quarter, maybe. Like we can do one-off like every 3 months or something.
That's if they like it. If they really want to hear it, If not, there's a special place you can go to listen to talk.
And we've also I put spoiler threads up there, so you can go in and have live discussion while there's major pay-per-views going on. So if you're into wrestling, if you like that kind of stuff, definitely go on there and find that group. You can always text us or leave us a voicemail. That number Sean gave you earlier was 470 digital. That is 470-344-4825. If we ever get voicemails, which we don't have any, again, you can, we'll respond to them after the outro music plays. So that's kind of our stinger, is us responding to your voicemails.
Yeah, and it's always open. I mean, you can call me at 2 a.m. I don't care. I'll wait to the episode. I'm not gonna put you on blast till then, unless your name initials are CP.
We told you guys, but just to reiterate again, hit us up with a message. Let us know what you want us to cover for the next episode. We'll make a poll of it and let everybody decide what we're gonna play. That is our present to you. That's all I got. Let's get the fuck out of here. It's way past my bedtime.
Oh, yeah, man. We out
Bye.
this bitch. We just got a voicemail. Literally.
Are you serious?
Literally. I'm dead serious. I'll pull it up and I'll transfer it over. Hold on.
Hey, this is Kyle. Donkey Kong Country 3 fucking sucks. Like, if I want to play with the girl monkey and the really dumb one, then Donkey Kong Country 2 is the superior example of Donkey Kong Country greatness. Huh? Explain that to me. Fucking riddle me that, digital cartridge.
Riddle me this. I did. I explained it in a whole motherfucking episode, Kyle from Experience Grind Podcast.
And we totally agree. Donkey Kong Country 3 is a bottom shelf rated game.
Yeah, so I mean, Kyle, if you want us to talk about Donkey Kong Country 2, holler at your boys.
Yeah, send us a message and let us know that we should put it in a poll option, and we'll do it, because we listen.
I swear to God, if I have to play Donkey Kong Country 2 right after this game.
Yeah, that's gonna. I mean, that'd be better than Donkey Kong Country 3.
Look, here's the thing. I swear, if they make us play Donkey Kong Country 2, that means we're gonna have to start off 2020 just playing regular Donkey Kong Country, so we can just literally take this trio in reverse.
That's how I like all my trios in reverse.
Yeah, like I watch Star Wars in backwards.
I wipe my ass before I take a shit. I do everything backwards.
Yeah, I like to use the paper and then the wet wipe. Or that's how I like playing. That's how I liked watching Ninja Turtles. I watched Ninja Turtles 3, then 2, then 1. So I had no idea how the fuck anybody got anywhere. Definitely. We like to fuck shit up over here at Digital Cartridge Podcast.
We go backwards.